Hello, it's me, Troubadour, and I got a fun video for y'all today. I'm here on Grounded Sap's website, which is super cool, by the way. But there's lots of cool things on here. You got like cool data and all this stuff. Design. I use pack designers. You got the bounty boards, but I'm using the tier list here because I am finally making a superautopets tier list. That's right. I know people have been asking for it. I mean, every YouTuber has to do one, right? It's such great content. It's easy clickbait, great engagement, everyone arguing in the comments. It'll be wonderful. So that's why I'm doing it here. Plus, I just want to kind of give my thoughts on what I think the state of the game is, which pets I think are good, are bad, all that kind of stuff. I'll be kind of bouncing around between different tiers, different packs. I'm not really comparing to anything in particular. Like, I'm not really like focusing on how strong they are in their pack versus outside their pack, or maybe relative to other things in their tier or early game, late game. Really just it kind of depends on, I'll do it like a pet by pet basis. It'll really just be like, we'll see, case by case basis for each pet. So let's start with the pet at the very top that I think no one will argue with. That's the skunk. I mean, what do I need to say? This HP reduction is so incredibly valuable. I mean, I use it on almost all my. I can't stop myself from buying it. Like every time I play Turtle Pack or even customs, like this HP reduction is so good into so many teams. And it's a tier 4. Like it's such a strong ability. I mean, what do I need to say? It's the skunk. You know it. You love it or hate it. It's really good. Let's do an A tier. No, let's jump around. You know what? We'll go to the middle. We'll do a C tier pet. I know, speaking of Grounded, let's do a video or do a pet that Grounded just featured in a video not too long ago. If I can find it, let me see. It's kind of sorted by tier here. It's hard for me to find this pet I'm thinking about. Oh, there it is. Because I never use it, and that's the Cali Greyhound. Now, the Cali Greyhound, it's another HP reduction pet like the skunk, right? But it's got a few more limitations. It needs mana. It can target 2 enemies, but it needs a lot of mana to get as much value as like a skunk. And then on top of that, like you can use mana on a Cali Greyhound. Why would you do that? We can use it on like a War for a Chimera. You know, there's just better targets for mana. Now the HP reduction can be good if you invest into it, but I think there's definitely better targets. So that's why I'm putting it right here in the middle in C tier. Let's jump back up. Let's do an A tier pet. Ooh, here's a good one. Axe Handle Hound. I hate this pet. Like it's so annoying. It's just made the early game so annoying. Like if you want to run more than one of the same pet, you are guaranteed to lose a heart. Like because everyone's running Axe Handle Hound. I mean, I'm running Axe Handle Hound. It's so good. It does so much damage. Enemy having multiple copies. Like I get not wanting people to run duplicate pets, but you should reward them for having a variety of pets rather than punish them for having duplicate pets. Anyway. That's not the long. I mean, and plus in the early game, it's really hard to not run duplicates. There's like barely any pets you can buy. Like, what do you want us to do? And here's the other thing: it does 10 damage. Like that's crazy. It can do 10 damage. Like it can. If I have like say like double Spinosaurus, my tier 1 just like their tier 1 can kill my tier 6 in one hit. Why? I don't know. But it's A tier because you can still play around it by having just not duplicates. Or just, you know, in versus especially, once someone has an accidental hound, you just stop running duplicates and you'll beat it. It's not terrible, but golly, is it so annoying. Need some water. There's a lot of talking today. I don't know how much I'm going to edit this video. Maybe I'll just let it keep running and running, throw some music in. I don't know. We'll see. It could be fun adding a bunch of music. But yeah, there's the accidental hound. I definitely need to talk. There's so many pets. I definitely need to spend less time talking about each one. Let's jump to a lower tier pet. Let's do. Ooh, I've got a good one in my head. There it is, the Emperor Tamarin. Now this thing used to be, as RevGT says, busted custard. Back in the day, at level 1, it gave 50%, and at level 2, it gave you 100% attack and health. So what that meant is that you would have a tier 3, you'd get it to 50-50 at level 2, and then sell it and get a 50-50 tier 6 for free. It was kind of insane, so they nerfed it, but now it's 3366. Don't really feel like 33 does nothing. Like if I had a 50-50 Tamarin, I'm giving someone like 13, 14 stats, like that's nothing. Or like 66, like it's really not much, you know. 100 level 3 it can be good, but at that point you're investing a level 3 into a Tamarin that you're gonna sell. Like I'd rather get like a level 3 Weasel or something than a Tamarin, you know. So I think it's just fallen off like crazy since they nerfed it. Well deserved nerfed. It would have been S tier if it weren't for the nerf. It was so good. Everyone used it in customs. It was broken. So I think definitely deserving of the E tier here. Okay, I had to pause for a second. My boss was calling me. Let's get back to the tier list. I've only done 4 pets and it feels like it's already been like 5 minutes. I really gotta speed this up. Let's do another S tier pet. I mentioned it earlier. I mean, anyone gonna argue with the Spinosaurus being S tier? Like, the S tier is all these pets that like you see it up there and you're like, yeah, that's S tier. You know, like it gives so many stats every time a friend faints. Crazy strong in general, stupid strong in star pack, and even more in customs. It just works so well. It's so many stats. You can double it up. It's amazing. So yeah, Spinosaurus. And you know, we'll do another star pack S1 that I always confuse it with. The Stegosaurus. I always say their names backwards for some reason, but Stegosaurus, it can give so many stats. You can throw it into any team. Like if you just need a random pet to give yourself some stats for a while, like just run Stegosaurus. Higher levels you can do so many. Yeah, it has to target a perkless friend, but then you can just run stuff like reindeer or something that's going to get a perk anyway. And like, it's just so many stats, can work with any team. Super awesome. S tier. Let's do another A tier pet. No, we'll go down. No, I haven't filled out some of these tiers. Let's do a B tier pet. B tier pet. We'll do another Rev GT Classic, and by Rev GT Classic, I mean a pet he absolutely despises, and that, if I can find it, is the Bison. So the Bison, in turn, if it has a level 3 friend, it gains stats. It used to gain +2/+2, and it was stupid broken, and everyone hated it. But besides that, it's just like, it's not that crazy anymore. Whoops. Oh, you can like click it, and oh, you can click the pet and then click the category, it'll move it. That's super cool. Thanks, Grounded. But yeah, in turn, level 3 friend gains stats just like that. I mean, it's not that amazing. I think it's definitely fallen off. It used to be like stupid annoying, stupid broken, especially back in the day when it counted itself as a level 3 and it would scale itself. I think it's definitely weaker than it used to be. Like if I get an early Bison, I might run it, but like past like turn 8, I'm not buying a Bison, you know? Like it's just it's just not that good at that point. If you get one early, it can be strong, but it's not as good as it used to be. I don't really hate Bison like I did before. I know some people like Rev still do, but like honestly, I'm over the Bison. It's a fine pet. It's not broken, it's not terrible, it's just a fine B tier. All right, next pet, we'll do a D tier pet. How about, you know, I just did a pet that Rev hates. Let's do a pet that Rev GT absolutely loves, and that's the donkey. Now listen, I like using the donkey. It's a fun pet. I would not say it's a very strong pet. It's just like, its ability can sometimes be more detrimental than it is useful against certain comps. Like if someone's running like a snake or a minotaur or something, you don't want to give them more triggers. It's just like, it can be good, but it's not always good. And I feel like there's just pets that are more consistent in it. So D tier. Sorry, I'm trying to spend less time talking about each pet. I got a lot to go through. Let's do another C tier pet. How about, let's do, I just need to like find something. What's a good C tier pet? Let's do the, oh, that's a good one. Where is it? I just thought about it. The cockatrice. Whoops, that's not what I'm trying to do. The cockatrice. Oops, I forgot to make this full screen. There we go. It looks a lot better. All right, so the cockatrice, it is a tier 6. It can turn a backmost pet into a rock. Now here's the thing, it always targets the backmost friend. It's like, if the backmost friend is like, if it's level 1 and the backmost enemy is like level 2, it'll not skip to the next pet. It's like, it only targets the backmost. It can only turn like one pet into a rock, and it has to be in the very back position. So sometimes this cockatrice literally does nothing, but if you get to level 3, like turning this onto a rock is not bad, you know? It's just a little more niche. That's why I'm putting it in C tier. I really need to speed through these. Let's do another tier 6, the catfish. Catfish, it's sometimes a meme pet. It's got really low stats and its ability is pretty niche, but if you can get it with a good combo, like having a high blue-ringed octopus, it can do really strong, but outside of that, it's pretty weak. So I'll put it right in the middle. Speaking of blue-ringed octopus, put that in B tier, buy, give people stats. Can be nice if you stack it up, if you have waffles, but a lot of times it's just a buy-sell pet and that's it. Another A tier pet. Let's do the anteater. So the anteater, when it faints, it summons an ant, and it's always level 3, and that's crazy strong tempo, giving +3/3 to a friend like this early in the game is really strong. So A tier. How about another A tier pet? We can do the Oh, I meant to grab abomination. We'll do Anubis. Anubis, you might be surprised to see me not put it in S tier after I made a video literally called Anubis is the best pet in the game. But people in the comments point out that if you do snipe the faint pets before the Anubis triggers, then it won't actually work. So you know what? There's a little bit of counterplay. We'll put it in A tier instead of S tier. But I'm watching you, Anubis. Anyway, Abomination. Abomination may not seem that strong if you're used to playing Unicorn Pack, but in customs, it's absolutely busted because if you copy it with like Parrot or if you put Tiger behind it, so it swallows the leftmost starter battle shot pet, so it's always swallowing a level 1 pet unless you do some like treasure chest shenanigans. But if you have a Tiger behind it, it'll make it a level 3 ability from the Tiger. And then if you do a Parrot, it'll do a level 3 as well. So you can have like your Parrots and Tigers and whatever just doing way too much damage with your starter battle abomination stuff. So that's why it's A tier. It's A tier because it is good on its own, but with team combos, it can be absolutely busted. Let's do another D tier pet. Let's do the Duckling. Duckling, sell, gives someone health. That's not a terrible sell ability, but stats are so atrocious, you're guaranteed to lose 1 if not 2 hearts. So D tier. Good sell ability, really bad stats. How about another B tier? Let's do the Blobfish. Blobfish is nice, faint, you give someone XP and stats. That can be really nice, but it can be hard to find a pill sometimes, especially as you get later in the game. There's more foods available, less odds of finding a pill. Otherwise, you have to run it with like a Mantis or a Deer Lord. So I put it in B tier because sometimes like I'll throw like I got my Blobfish with the banana, but then like I can't find a pill and then it's just wasting my team space. So I'll put it in B tier. Let's do another D tier pet. Let's do the Dove. So the Dove, faint, give 2 strawberry friends +2 attack and health. It's a pretty nice ability, but the fact that it needs strawberries and it's got low stats is just pretty niche. You can use it in pretty nicely in Star Pack with like a leech, you know, but outside of that, like I never run this thing in customs. Never really see it in weeklies either, you know, well, obviously because there's barely any strawberries in weeklies. But yeah, I'll put it in D tier. Some more water. Okay, let's do another. You know, I haven't done anything in the F tier yet. Let's do an F tier pet that I think no one will argue with. Like everyone will be like, okay, yeah, that's an easy F tier pet, and that's the Frigate Bird. I mean, what do I have to say? Frengen's element gives it rice. Stats are fine, but like this just it doesn't really do anything. And now they've added more pets that interact with that remove ailments. Like I mean, things like the unicorn. You know, like why would you ever run a Frigate Bird? I don't think it's a useful F tier. You know, we'll throw another F tier in here, but for a different reason. That's going to be a new Unicorn Pack pet, if I can find it. There it is, the Fairy. Now, maybe like, Troubadour, why are you putting Fairy in F tier? So it can do 2 things. It can summon a giant eye dog up front, or it can summon like a Salmon of Wisdom after everyone faints. But like how I see it, it's a 1/1 tier 4. Twice last 2 turns. If I want to have something with like similar stat line to the Salmon of Wisdom, or like the what's it called, the what's the summon at the front, Giant Eyes Dog, like I'll just run a deer because the bus will last more than 2 turns. So that's why I'm putting an F tier. I just think it's outclassed. What's another, you know, where's the deer? We'll talk about deer next. Deer. I can't find any of these pets. There it is. Let me see. Oh, it's sorted by tier, and then within each tier, it's alphabetical. Okay. Deer. Putting it in D tier. It's got 1/1 stats. It can summon a bus with chili, but it can fall off later game. Can use it with summon pets sometimes. Can be nice tempo, but I definitely don't keep it till late game, so I'll put it in D tier. A B tier pet. Let's do another B tier. Let's do the Beaver. Sell, get some attack. It's pretty nice. Not like the most broken tier 1, so we'll put it in B tier because it's pretty useful, but not amazing. Let's do another S tier pet. Let's do the Secretary Bird. I mean, what can I say? It's very similar to Spinosaurus. It doesn't give as many stats, you know, because it does every 2 turns, but you get it 2 tiers earlier. It can be really, really strong tempo, really nice just in general, especially if you get it early. It'll just win you games. It's amazing. Put it in S tier. And let's do another S tier while we're on top of it that is also related to faint pets, and that is the shark. So the shark, friend faints, it gets stats. Yeah, pretty darn good. Even though they nerfed how much stats it gains, it's still really good. Oh yeah, I should say within. I'm sorting these by tier, but it's not sorted within tier. I'm not saying Accidental Hound is better than Anubis. They're just both equally as strong. General to like I don't know where their tier is and all that kind of stuff. How annoying they are for the game, how good they are, all that stuff. Let's do let's keep rocking the S tiers. Let's do Stingray. Stingray can give you give you two of the best toys in the game, being the flashlight and the stinky sock. You can use flashlight for some really, really good scaling. 6/6 to 1 pet is nothing to scoff at. And then once you're later in the game, or if you just want it, you can get a stinky sock to have like a better level 1 skunk just for free. It's crazy good. I put in all my custom packs S tier. Let's hop down lower on the list. Let's go back to the E tier. It's looking a little lonely. Let's do the Emu. I'm sorry, Gaming Emu. I know you want me to say Emu, but it's so bad that I'm gonna call it Emu. Emu, I have it really bad now because its ability is kind of irrelevant now that we have all these jump pets and fairy dust. You can just use those instead of an Emu. Outside of Golden Pack, you never use this. Inside of Golden Pack, it's very rarely used anyway, so we put it in E tier. Let's do more C tier pets. I really need to get through these. Chinchilla. Can be nice. You sell, you get a loyal chinchilla. It can be like an extra gold off that. 2/2 isn't amazing, and I'd rather have a pig, so C tier. Let's do another B tier pet. Let's do the beluga whale. So beluga whale eats food, swallows a pet, releases as fainting. Can be really strong with certain combos, but you sometimes can struggle to find good pets for it to swallow. And also you have to be wary that if you eat chocolate, it can ruin whatever setup you've got going on. Still pretty darn good, so I'll put it in the B tier. Let's do another, let's do another S tier. I'm still feeling the S tiers right now. Let's do a lower tier S tier, and that's the spider. It's amazing because you can pill it and get a tier 3 earlier, even earlier than before. Super nice for that, and can still be strong in battle early game with just having free summons. And if you set up your custom pack in the right way, you can do stuff like have spider into like osprey into groundhog, and that's really good. So really nice pet, S tier. I think everyone knows why it's S tier. And we'll do another S tier pet that's not as strong customs, can still be used in customs, but it's so broken in its base pack, I have to put it here. That's the shoe bill. I know they're changing abilities for test server. I'm recording this before right now the star pack has changed on the test server that I'm not on live server. So I'm talking about star pack as it is at the time of this recording. I know they're going to change things soon. But right now, shoe bill, you have so many stats for just having a strawberry. It's one of the most boring pets in the game, but it's also one of the strongest. S tier, easy. Let's do another A tier, the ants. Now, some people might not see this as very good, but honestly, the first 2 turns, ant is insane. Getting +1/+1 attack and health just helps you get draws and wins so much easier in the first 2 turns. I really like it. You can pill it later for some nice stats early on. I like it. Very good. A tier. Let's do another B tier pet. We'll do the, what's a good B tier pet? Let me get some water real quick. What about the buffalo? So buffalo, it can really snowball stats, especially if you level it up, but you really need a buy sell build to get it going, because selling 3 friends, like that can be a lot of gold investment if you don't got a team set up around it. It can still be really good and get you lots of stats, especially in the puppy packs. So we'll put it in B tier. I feel like if you do set up a team around it, it'll hit 50-50 way early, and then you're just kind of like, well, now what do I do? I've got a 50-50. I don't really need to buy sell anymore. But yeah, we'll put it in B tier. Let's do another C tier pet. We'll do let's go back to the turtle pack. We will do where is it? Where's my tier 3s? Tier 2, tier 3. Where is it? Oh, it's tier 2. What am I saying? The crab. So the crab, it's pretty niche. It can copy a lot of health, be nice with certain combos, but honestly, I don't use it that much. Can be nice if you put time into it, so I'll put it in C tier. And we'll stick with the turtle pack here, and we'll talk about the swan. I mean, this thing is awesome. I love running this thing. It's just easy gold generation. You get on turn 2. It's got low stats, but this gold generation is so incredibly useful. You can take it all the way through the entire game. Buy it turn 3 and just forget about it. As long as you get a little bit of stats onto it, easy S tier. Let's do another lower tier pet. Let's do the flying fish. Now, release golden pack, it was broken, was way too strong, and then since then, it's been pretty darn weak. It can maybe do some tempo stuff in golden pack, but you never really see in customs. You don't really see it much in golden pack either. It's just not that good. I'll put it in F tier. All right, moving on to the D tier. We'll do the, where is it? It's a customs only pet. It is a tier 4. There it is, Dragonfly. It can give stats. Its requirement is friends have different levels to give them different stats. And it's a 1/1. I feel like there's scalers that can just do more stats for less investment, you know? So, you know, we'll put it in D tier. Can still scale if you set it up, but I think there's other pets that just do its job better. Now let's do another tier 1. We'll do the Bluebird. Very nice scaling early, especially if you combine it with stuff like the tropical fish, but then it kind of falls off late game. Obviously, it is a tier 1, but it can be really nice for a while with the free attack, so we'll keep it in B tier. Let's see. We're looking a little lonely at the bottom. Maybe you should put some more bad pets. I like talking about the good pets because they're good, you know, but it's harder to talk about bad pets. Or bad. Well, they aren't necessarily bad. Some of them are just outclassed, you know, like the fairy. Let's do another pet that I think is just a little bit outclassed now. It can still be good in its base pack, but outside of base pack, I think other pets just outclass it. And if I can find it, it is the Doorhead Ant. So it jumps, gains health. It's nice. It's nice they changed it from push to jump so it can work with the all of the new jump pets in the unicorn pack. But there's so many better jump pets in the unicorn pack that I'd rather use, like, you know, the tiger bug, you know, or something like that. That I just don't think it's. I think you'd rather you run other jump pets instead of Doorhead Ant. Still okay in golden pack though, so I'll put it in the D tier. Speaking of jump pets, let's do one from the unicorn pack. If I can find it, it is in my head. I can picture it. I know which pet it is. I just need to find it. Yeah, I'm probably just not gonna edit around this downtime. It's too much work. We'll do the drop bear. Can be really nice for a couple turns, but the damage falls off pretty fast, and it's just outclassed a couple turns later by like tiger bug. So that's why I'm putting it in D tier. That's enough for the low tier. Let's go back to the top. Let's go to the top of the top. Let's put another S tier up in there. And we're going to do the Sabertooth. Sabertooth can generate so many summons. It has no trigger limit. Can work in lots of different things in summons or just in general, just high stats. It's just so much you can do with it. Summoning a 10-10 or 15-15, those are nice chunks of damage, you know. So easy S tier for me. Let's do another A tier. Could do the African penguin. Can be really nice buy sell. I mean, I'll keep it for a while and waffle it sometimes in golden pack. Like, it's just really nice getting that attack early. Helps you get more wins and draws. Easy A tier for me. Let's do another B tier. Here's one that people might find a little surprising. I'm gonna put the behemoth in B tier. Now, Behemoth in turn gains +2 attack and health, and it's got the highest base stats in the game, but honestly, its stats do not scale up very fast. It seems like 100 is a lot, right? But it takes a long time to get there unless you specifically a lot of scalers, you know? So I think why'd it go to D tier? I think it can be good if you invest in it, but just like buying it, throwing it in your team, like level 1, it's really not gonna do that much. Maybe an unicorn pack with a more limited scaling, but yeah, I think I'll put it in B tier. I'll put a crow in C tier. Chocolate is amazing, but the fact that you have to have an empty spot and you have to sell and then you have to buy the chocolate, that's a big gold and team investment. So chocolate is nice, but we'll put it in C tier. Let's do another B tier pet. What's another good B tier? We'll do the bat. Bat makes random enemies weak. It's really nice for a tier 2, though it's got terrible stats. And I feel like now with the unicorn pack, there's just better ailment givers than it. So I'll put it in B tier. It can still be really good, especially in puppy pack, but I think there's pets better than it, so I'll put it in B tier. Speaking of getting outclassed, I'm gonna put the flea here. Now, flea, you might think, Troubadour, flea is so good. Why are you putting it in F tier? I just think it's outclassed. It targets the healthy enemies, but honestly, I think there's just better ailment givers. Now in customs, you can just run like Anubis microbe, and like that just does flea's job better, you know? Doesn't take very much to set up. So I think it's just outclassed. Can be still be good in golden pack, but I think it's just outclassed as a whole. So I'll put it in F tier. Let's do another E tier pet. I haven't done an E tier pet in a while. Let's do the Egyptian Vulture. So Egyptian Vulture, knockout, activate ability on the nearest faint friend behind. Works one time per battle. Activating faint abilities is nice, but it needs lots of stats to do it. But like, why would you ever use Egyptian Vulture when you've got Anubis right here? So yeah, E tier. Okay, I'm back. I went and got some more water, got a drink, lots of talking. So, all right, where was I? Da-na-na-na-na. You know, I feel like there's more S tier pets I can throw in. Let's do one from the turtle pack. We'll do the scorpion. I mean, scorpion, you can throw it on any team. It'll put in work as long as it doesn't get sniped. Peanut is just that strong. Easy S tier for me. Another A tier. Should I do A tier? Actually, yeah, we haven't done A tier in a little bit. Let's do another A tier. I'm going to put... oh, I know a great one for A tier. That is the... Where is it? There it is. The alpaca. Giving chocolate or giving experience for free is really nice. Great pivot pet. Great pet. Alpaca, A tier, easy. Let's do a C tier pet. We'll do the... Let's do the... There's one I'm thinking of. Where is it? There it is. Cuttlefish. Ink is nice. It's got great stats, but like ink just kind of falls off. Plus it doesn't work with Manticore right now. It's bugged, so I think it's okay, but there's ailments I'd rather have on my team, so I'll put the Cuttlefish in the C tier. Next up, we'll do a B tier pet. Let's do the... There's one in my head. There's always one in my head. There it is. The Beluga Sturgeon. Nice tempo, free summons. You can pill it and sell the dolphin. Definitely falls off later game though. Easy B tier. Let's put another S tier pet in, the stork. It may not summon, may summon at lower stats than it used to, but still summoning pets from the previous shop tier can be so crazy. You can still get like stork into eagle, into orca, into whatever, you know. It's still really good. I still invested into it custom packs. Very nice pet, S tier. Got myself a sparkling water now. I'm feeling pretty good. Bigfoot B tier. It's nice having free rolls. Its stats aren't as good as it used to be. Still a decent pet. Put it in B tier. We'll also put beta fish in B tier. In golden pack, it can be nice for a while, but falls off. Useful in customs for pilling. Can give some nice stats. We'll put it in B tier. Next up, you know what? Maybe I'll show my bias a little bit here, but I love the silver-tailed fox. I know not everyone thinks it's amazing, but that gold generation is just so good. I mean, get up to 9 gold per turn on one unit. I love investing into it in golden pack and running it on a money build, so I'm gonna put an S tier, and I don't care what you say. Speaking of money builds, let's do the Bird of Paradise here in B tier. Outside of money builds, you need to spend 7 gold, so it can be a little hard to trigger it more than once per turn, but it can still be nice. And with money builds, like, you are triggering Bird of Paradise like crazy. Super nice. I think it's a good B tier, nice tier 6 scaler. Let's do Cyclops in C tier. Cyclops used to be absolutely incredibly busted until they nerfed it a little bit after Unicorn Pack came out. It's still nice for getting tier 3s, you know, or just like you're about to level up anyway. Might as well buy a Cyclops and get an extra free XP, you know. With a Gingerbread Man, it can almost get level 3 from a level 2, you know, so it's pretty nice. You can run double Cyclops to get a level 2, almost a level 3 as well, so that's really nice as well. But it's definitely fallen off from where it used to be. We'll put it in C tier. Let's do another C tier, Cassowary. Intern, if I Strawberry Friend and gains attack and health. Not bad, not great, definitely falls off, and I feel like they're just like, It's okay. Like, it's fine. I feel like there's tier 3s I like better, especially in the star pack, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. It can still be okay, so I'll put it in the C tier. It's just like that amount of scaling doesn't really hold into late game like some of these other pets. For another S tier pet, the Stoats. I mean, being able to sell this, it's amazing for buy sell because you get extra money, and it can summon like a level 2 or level 3. Like, it can be really good if you level up to level 2, sell it on a later turn, and just get like, say you get like a level 2 skunk for free. Like, who cares about the stats on it? You've got a level 2 like S tier pet. So I definitely putting Stork in the S tier as a result. We'll do another S tier pet, the Seagull. Amazing for summon teams. Absolutely is, and I think it's amazing. Super underrated. Great in summon teams with things like Mushroom. You can do stakes, you know. It can be great tempo if you give it like a meat bone or like a pie or like a fig or like anything like that. Just to, while you're buying new pets, they get a free food perk. Like, Seagull is so freaking good. Definitely putting it in S tier. Let's talk about some more lower tier pets. We haven't done a few down here in a while. Let's talk about another F tier, and that is the Frilled Dragon. It's probably my least bought tier 1 in the game, except maybe some of the new Unicorn Pack stuff, but like, it starts as a 1/1. It can get crazy stats if you build a team around it, but it falls off so fast. I don't really think it's worth it. I don't really ever buy it. F tier. And speaking of F tier, we're going to put another pet down here, and that is the fur-bearing trouts. Now, it's not terrible, I guess, but like Rambutan, it's not really anything impressive. It's got really low stats, and there's other perk faint pets I'd rather have, like the turtle or the tar or something like that. So I'll put it in F tier. Okay. Another B tier, Baboon. In turn, gives a random friend from the current shop tier +1 attack and +2 health. Really nice scaling, but it does it for different tiers every time, so you kind of have to mix up, and you have to like, oh shoot, I need to buy a tier 4 for my Baboon to scale, or else it does nothing this turn, you know, things like that. Could still be some really high stats though. We'll put it in B tier. Let's do another D tier pet. Where is it? I've got one in my head. From the Unicorn Pack Customs only. Let's do the Deer Lord. Deer Lord, I mean, Knockout is cool having another Knockout pet, but Bacons really fall off. And plus, just run Mantis. It scales itself. It can still do a similar effect. You can run the front or back. So yeah, I'll put it in D tier. At least, you know, it only knocks out one friend instead of two, so you can actually have stuff behind it if you want. But yeah, putting it in the D tier, not Mantis. Just run Mantis instead. We're going to put Angler into A tier. One, because it's super fun in versus mode, especially when you're playing across packs. But it can be really, really nice if you like run into like a sloth, or if you just find something strong in your team. Like in Puppy Pack, everything's about tier 6s. You want a really good tier 6, just find an opponent that's already bought one, and you just get one right here. Also, of course, Sloth S tier, best pet in the game. Don't have to say anything there. So Sloth S tier. Let's do another C tier pet. We're going to do the Chameleon. Not as broken as it used to be because it only works in battle, but it can still be really nice with certain toys, like with ones that give stats or that do snipes and stuff like that. So I'll put it in C tier. Another C tier pet. Probably put the chicken down here. Can be nice scaling, but you get it so late that at that point, like, why don't you just like go ahead and buy higher tier pets, you know? So I'll put it in C tier. Can be nice if you combo with stuff like whale, you know, so it can give stats, you know, it's like free cans, but I still think there's other pets that are better to buy. We'll put snake in S tier. It's free snipes. You can throw it into any team. It does a lot of damage over time, and it's got nice stats. It can't die to an opposing snake either in one hit unless it's leveled up. But you can throw it into any team that's got high stats on one unit, and it will always put in work. So we'll put it in S tier. Blowfish B tier. Blowfish is really, really annoying in Turtle Pack. There's a little bit of there's still some counterplay with things like Skunk, but you don't see it that much inside of custom packs outside of like draw teams with Hedgehog. So we'll put in B tier. Still really good, but not like broken. Camel C tier. Every time I buy Camel, I'm like, okay, this is cool and all, but I'd rather just buy Blowfish in a couple of turns, so I'll put it in C tier. Let's do the Cerberus. It can summon an 8/8 unit, but only summons at one time. Can be really nice with pets that like to be in second position, like the snake. But it takes you have to level it up to get more triggers. So I'll put it in the C tier. Let's do another B tier pet. Let's do the brain cramp. Getting a melon for free is amazing. And it can get attack. And it's a jump pet. Even though it's got lower stats, it's got a melon. Who cares? It's a tier 3 with melon. I think that's pretty solid. I'll put that in the B tier. We'll put dog in D tier. It can get nice stats, but it's only until the end of battle. So sometimes it'll be really good. And other times you've just got like a 3/2 sitting there. So I'll put it in the D tier. Chimera and C, if you invest enough mana and level it up, like it can do a lot, but it still takes a lot more investment than it used to. Thankfully, it was so broken, so we'll put it in the C tier for now. I think it's a good spot for it. We'll do Boar in B tier. 4 attack gets attack and health. It can combo teams, but it doesn't snowball teams as heavily as some other pets in the game. But it can be nice, you know, it's not bad starting stats. It can keep regenerating health, which is nice, and the getting attack ain't bad either. But we'll put it in B tier because I still think there's other tier 6s that I would rather buy instead. S tier Starfish, so good for buy sell in its current state. Like I said, I'm talking pre-star pack patch. They're still in the test server. Amazing in custom packs, especially. You can just build a whole pack full of cell pets and just scale your stats to the moon. Easy S tier for me. Let's do Dolphin and D. Just use Fig. Don't need to use Dolphin, but I guess you can use it. But like, why would you use it when you just have Fig? We'll put Dragon in D tier. Can give stats, but you need to find a tier 1 and you need an empty space to be able to keep selling things. So you can only scale 3 friends at a time. So it's more limited than some other scalers that are available. We'll put Axolotl in A tier. Now this might be a hot take, but I think Axolotl can be really nice, especially combined with some other scalers. And there's lots of pets that give perks when they faint that can really snowball your Axolotl, like scaling like crazy. I'll put it in the A tier. We'll put Cow in C tier. Stats are nice, but it replaces the shop. You can replace chocolates and stuff, so I'll put it over in the C tier instead. We'll put Sleipnir in S tier. It can give a lot of mana if it's got a lot of attack, and that can just help with so many different mana pets in the game, such as another S tier, the Sea Serpent. If you level this up, it's just going to one hit kill like 3 enemies for free. Like, it's insane. If you got mana on it, it will kill 3 pets for 1 when it faints. It's pretty darn good. I'll put it in S tier. Let's do another F tier pet. I haven't done one of those in a while. Let's do the fish. Fish used to be broken, now not so much. I mean, leveling up and giving stats is nice, but usually you're giving stats to pets that you're just gonna sell in a couple turns, like other tier 1s and stuff. So not the most amazing thing in the world. Put in F tier. There's other tier 1s that I would rather buy than that one. We'll put Clownfish in C tier. Still not bad. Someone levels up, it gives it stats, but being at tier 4 instead of tier 3 means it's harder to abuse it. It can still be good inside of XP archetypes though, so we'll keep it up in C tier. We'll put Eel in E tier. I definitely think it's not as strong as it used to be now that they nerfed its base HP. Takes a little more to get it going, so and it really later in the game, like, it kind of falls off. There's other pets that can just get more health, especially if you've got a Shubil on your team. You'll get health scaling like crazy, so put it in E tier. We'll put the Badger in B tier. When it faints, it can do a lot of damage to adjacent pets, so you can have something useless on your team behind the Badger, like that doesn't do anything in battle, like a monkey, and the opponent could have like a 50-50 Rhino, and you just kill it with the Badger. Can be really nice if you invest into it, but it still takes some investment, so we'll put it in B tier. You really need to get to level 2 to have it really do anything useful though, so B tier for sure. Let's do another S tier. Sea Lion is such nice scaling. You can give attack or health. You can run 2 of them and get both. It can combo with some other scalers in the game, and so strong inside a golden pack. So we'll put it in the S tier. Let's do another low tier pet. Put the Falcon in F tier. I mean, Knockout, it can summon a level 1 copy, but it's always 3/3. You can't put it at the front, so it's really hard to scale with Monkey outside of a 4 squad, both outside of Golden and inside of Golden. So I think it's just not that useful. I'll put it in the F tier. Next up, let's talk about the Alchemedes. I think free mana is great, especially early game. Getting an extra 1 damage snipe can be really clutch. And it can be nice for several different mana builds early, so put in A tier. D tier, Dromedary. Shop scaling is nice, but you have to buy it at some point, so and it can only give up to 3/3. It's a tier 2, it can be nice early, but it falls off later, so we'll put in D tier. Another S tier, Shrimp, another great pet for buy sell, especially early. You can just run Shrimp plus a Garlic on your somewhere on your team and just completely win. Like you just win like 4 or 5 rounds in a row. Really nice for that, so I'm gonna put it in S tier. And another S tier, the Slug, amazing for any summon team. You get 3 summons for the price of 1, all in one spot, so it can work with like summons that don't care about your positioning, or it can work with pets that care about positioning like Snake. It's just combos with everything, so we'll put it in the S tier. You can put it inside a Beluga for an extra summon if you want. What's some other good pets? Let's do, ooh, here's a good one. Sauropod, amazing, amazing, because you just get gold for buying food, and it works for perks and stat food, so you can combo with other scalers in the game. If you level it up, that's a lot of money. If you double up, if you got more than one Sauropod, you can generate a lot of gold just from buying food that you already want to buy. I really like it. I like Puppy Pack. I'll put it in S tier. I'm gonna put Crane in C tier. Melon is really nice, but the friend has to not die. Plus, the Crane is still, even at 5 health, is still susceptible to getting killed itself before it gets to trigger. Melon is nice, but I think it's a little more niche, but it can still put in work if you build a team around it, so I'll put it in C tier. What's another pet? Let's put Cat in C tier. Can do some really great scaling, but only works twice a turn, so you really have to be careful about which foods you buy, you know? And you gotta be, yeah, it's like, it can do really good scaling, but you can only do it twice per turn, so it's a little limited, so I'll put it in C tier. It can still be good. We're gonna put the Fly in F tier. Yes, it can summon extra flies to give you extra summons or something like that, but I'd rather just run other summon pets instead. There's better pets to run to summon archetypes, such as a shark or a Spinosaurus or something like that, so I'd rather run one of those instead of a fly, so I'll put it in F tier. We're gonna put Cobra in C tier. Absolutely terrible until you level it up and scale it up. You have to do both. If you do both, it's incredibly broken, but if you can't do it, like, it just does no damage. So it takes a lot of investment, really high risk, high reward, but it can be good in the right circumstances. We'll put it in the C tier. Let's do the Siberian Husky. Free scaling. I mean, you can run this with lots of teams in the game. Don't care about having food perks, and it's just a lot of stats. You can double up on them and just scale your team to the moon. You can get a 5 of kind of these really easily too. Put in S tier. Slime. I love the slime. It can summon a bunch of slimes. You know, once you get to the later turns, you can be summoning like more than 5 slimes a battle. That gives you tons of triggers for your summon archetype here. I think it's really underrated. I'm putting it in S tier. Let's talk about the Elephant Seal. Can give a lot of stats, but you have to spend money, so I feel like it's not as good as some other scalers because you can just click in turn and get stats. This one you have to actually buy. One, you have to find food perks, and 2, you have to spend money on them, and that's money you could be spending on leveling up other pets instead. Still can give stats though, so we'll keep it in E tier. What's another pets? Let's do Surgeonfish. I love Surgeonfish. You can give so much health. It can trigger multiple times. Amazing with hurt pets like the Sabertooth. Easy S tier for me. Flying Squirrel F tier. The fact that it can max be kept at level 1, 2, or 3 really hinders it. I don't really run it much anymore. I'm putting it in F tier. What's another F tier pets? We'll do the Frost Wolf down here. I mean, cold is cool and all, but its stats are really bad. And why would you ever run a Frost Wolf when you can run a different tier 2 that has a similar effect? And that is, if I can find it, where is it? It is the Sea Urchin. I love Sea Urchin. It can remove so much health from enemies. It's got better stats than the Frost Wolf. I just think it completely outclasses it, so that's why Frost Wolf's in F tier. Sea Urchin's in S tier. We'll do, what's another good pet? Let's do Stonefish. Mirko's gonna love me for this one, but it just can do so much damage. It's a great counter to lots of pets in the game. You don't need level to level 3 if you want. You just get to level 2, get some stats onto it, and just trade with anything. It's kind of like a pseudo Scorpion if you think about it, just in puppy packs. So Scorpion S tier, I'll put Stonefish in S tier. Speaking of S tier, Seahorse. Seahorse is amazing. This is it can be annoying in the early game, and it can carry into the late game because it's never bad. Taking the last enemy and moving it 3 spaces forward. It just disrupts so many teams in the game. I'll put it in S tier. Another B tier pet, the bear. Now there's stuff like the axolotl. I think bear is a lot stronger. It can give lots of food perks, and it'll give it to pets on your team and the enemy team, so it can actually replace perks like garlics and stuff in the early game as well, and that can be really useful. So I'll put it in the B tier. What about the here's a good one, the Barghest. So it doesn't give weakness anymore, it gives spooked. So people only take 1 extra damage when they're spooked instead of 3 from weakness, but it's still pretty nice for tier 1. It can trade with a lot of stuff. I will never say no to extra damage, so I'll put it in B tier. Here's another unicorn pack B tier, Basilisk. It can be nice for transforming pets that don't have any in-battle abilities. You can even put it in the front to transform enemies as well, but it will still be giving them health, so you gotta be careful, but it's still pretty solid. I'll put it in B tier. What about we'll do the ferret. Ferret's cool and all, but I'd rather just buy a higher tier toy pet than buy this. And I feel like if I'm buying it, I'm grabbing tennis ball 90% of the time. Balloon's cool and all, but like tennis ball is a lot better. But I still feel like if I'm playing puppy pack, I'm not really going for a ferret kind of build. So I'm just gonna put it in F tier. What's another good one? This one's pretty good. The Bunyip. When you roll, it gains stats. It can get a lot of health for a tier 1. It can fall off later, but not bad tempo wise. We'll put it in B tier. I gotta stretch real quick. Been talking a while. The tier list is looking pretty good. We still have a lot of pets to get through. Food Dog, F tier. You can give him health, but just buy a can instead. I just think it's better. We'll do the Doberman D tier. It can get a coconut, but it has to be the lowest tier pet, and a lot of times we'll invest in there's some lower than tier 4 pets that are really nice to invest in. Like, I don't know, a spider or something like that, seahorse that you want to keep around for a while, swan. So it can be useful if in the right circumstances, but you also need to have it be your lowest tier pet. So everything else on the team has to be tier 5 or 6. So I'll put it in D tier for that reason. We're gonna put Eagle in E tier. Now that it only summons it from the next shop tier, it's not as crazy strong as it used to be, where it can summon a tier 6 on turn 7. So it still can be okay for summon teams, so I'll put it in E tier just for that reason alone. Snapping Turtle, I think it's awesome. Skewer's a great perk. It can hit 2 different enemies with the Skewer. Combos really nicely with ailment builds right now. I think it's a great pet, S tier. And speaking of S tier, let's do the Snail. So the Snail's whole thing, in turn, if you lose Ocelot's battle, you gain health. Really great in versus mode. You can intentionally lose like on turn 2, and then turn 3 get a whole bunch of health from it. It's a pretty darn nice pet. It's always, I feel like I can just throw it on my team and leave it there and just get free health several turns if I'm doing bad. But yeah, easy S tier. And we'll do the Saiga Antelope. Great tempo and golden pack. Free trumpets can generate giant golden retrievers summons just from lots of summons. You just run a bunch of summons, throw a Saiga Antelope in there, and you'll just win games, especially if you combo Secretary Bird. Both really good. S tier. Squid's also great. Now that now that Cherry has started battle, you can run this at the front, and it's got great stats for tier 2. Like 5-2 is insane. You can make things inked, and because it targets the front enemies, it can target things like the snake, or the cobra, and that stuff that usually sits near the front of the team can get inked. Make it really nice to reduce damage and make them basically useless. Easy S tier for me. We will do next the seal. That's not a seal, that's a kappa. The seal, so the seal eats food, gets friends attack, can combo really nice for food builds. Great combo with the sauropod. You can get money and attack every turn just for buying foods. As long as the food hits the seal, you'll be good. You can do stat food or food perks with it. So very versatile. Flame 96's favorite pet. We'll put it in S tier. We'll do Skeleton Dog up here too. It's a faint pet that can also give permanent stats, and it can give it to multiple people. That's amazing, especially at tier 3. We're going to put that in S tier. C tier Cockatoo. It can give a lot of stats, but you need a faint friend, and it's pretty bad outside of Waffle because its stats are pretty low. But it can still be good if you know what you're doing, so I'll put it in the C tier. We'll also do a Capybara in C tier. It only gives unfrozen shop pets +2 attack and health, and at the start of your turn, you haven't rolled, so it can't affect those either. Still, though, having a little bit of stats is nice, so we'll put it in C tier. We're gonna put the Bad Dog in B tier. There's 2 toy options with the Bad Dog, but one of them's way better than the other, and that's the Evil Book. Great One can do so much damage, especially in the Unicorn Pack that's more limited on health scaling. Like, Great One can just sweep an entire team by itself. I mean, you've seen people do those 0 pet victories, which is the level 3 Evil Book. Bad Dog, easy B tier for me. Caterpillar C tier, only because it's a 1/1 and you have to wait several turns to level it up. But then at level 3, it can copy a strong enemy, and that's pretty nice. So we'll keep it in C tier. It can really be a tempo sink, for a while, but later in the game, it can be a lot stronger. So we'll put it in the C tier. Next up, let's talk about a new pet from the Unicorn Pack, the Sphinx. One of the toys, thanks to the Magic Carpet, gives attack when you summon a friend. It's permanent attack. It's not like the horse. So Sphinx, I think that's really nice. Great tempo, especially at tier 2. Just Magic Carpet, buy stuff. And I think the other one, the lamp, gives stats when someone levels up. So it can be really great tempo early on. I think it's a great pet. Put it in S tier. Another great tempo pet is going to be the Salamander. It can gain a lot of attack. It can gain a lot of attack for the early game. And it can lollipop it in the star pack and just snowball your stats like crazy. And it comes out as early as tier 2. So I think it's a great pet. We'll put it in the S tier. F tier Flamingo. It can give 2 friends stats, but why would you do that when the Skeleton Dog can do 3 pet stats, So I think Skeleton Dog just outclasses Flamingo. So I'm going to put it down in the F tier. Now I'm just looking around. What's the next pet that I want to talk about? Let's do Chipmunk. Chipmunk can be nice, but you need to put a food perk onto it to make it useful. Could be good in like Puppy Pack with Sushi or Golden Pack with like a Fig or something, but... sorry, I need a drink. But it's really like pretty useless outside of getting a food perk on it. Like I feel like you need a food perk on it. Otherwise, I'd rather just run a Beaver. It's the same stat line, but actually does something without a food perk. So I'll put it in C tier. Can still be nice, I guess, sometimes. How about another tier 1? We're gonna do the Duck. You can sell and give shop pets health. Why would you do that when you can give people on your team health attack instead of people on the shop health? Because you're not gonna buy everyone in the shop. But the pets on your team are definitely the ones you want to give attack to. So put it in the D tier. Health is okay, but attack is always better. We're gonna put Aardvark in A tier. Now, everyone knows summons are really strong. And Aardvark is really nice against summons, especially in the early game. It can get a lot of stats, especially at level 2. Plus 4/4 is nothing to sneeze at in the early game. So we're going to put that in the A tier. Elephant E tier. It can be really not fun in... it can be really strong in Turtle Pack with like Blowfish and Camel, but I think it just kind of falls off later game. There's other pets you can use that can do that kind of thing, but better, but don't damage your team. Plus, you have to run it with a hurt pet, or you have to run it in the back to get any use out of it. You don't see anyone running this without a hurt pet, so it's not that useful. And the higher tier hurt pets like Sabretooth are not very useful with the elephant either, so we'll put it in the E tier. How about another... Let's do another S tier pet. I haven't done an S tier pet in a little bit. How about the Silk Moth? Silk Moth, friend ahead, hurt, give it health. Can combo really nicely with some of these pets, especially hurt pets. That's a tier 6, but you know what I mean. All right, here's a good example. Here's another pet it combos really nicely with. That's the Bulldog. Bulldog can put a lot of HP on it and it'll turn it into attack, and it can get more health to make it live longer with the Silk Moth. I think this combo is great for Golden Pack, so I'm going to put him up here near the top of the tier list. And let's do another tier 1 Cricket. I mean, you can get a free summon out of it, but I feel like there's just other pets that do its job better. Falls off, I mean, it is a 1-3 instead of a 1-2 now, but outside of summon archetypes, you don't see it very much. Falls off pretty quickly, C tier. Here's another pet that falls off quickly. HP can be great, like I said, with like the Bulldog there, but its stat line is pretty low, but still, giving the health to like her pets like Bulldog and the Golden Pack is really good, so we'll keep it in C tier for now. Dodo D tier. It takes a lot of investment to be able to give attack to the friend ahead, like to make its ability worth it. You have to invest a lot of stats in the Dodo. Now, it can work in the right circumstances, but I think it's just not worth it to run it in most circumstances. I think it's just too much of a, you have to invest too much into it to get something out of it. So I'll put it in the D tier. It can do something, but it takes a lot of investment. Fox F tier. It doesn't really do very much. It can eat pills. I mean, you really have to get lucky. At least now it does the right most food, but still it's like, when would you ever want to pick a fox over something else, right? We'll keep it in F tier. I don't think it's very good. Also not very good, Fire Ants. It targets the highest tier friends, which sometimes can be more detrimental because there are lower tier pets you want to keep around. Like if I had a Fire Ant, I don't want it to hit my Spinosaurus. I want it to hit my shark, you know? And it can really mess with that our highest tier friends. Plus, you need to invest into it for it to even be worth running in your team. So we'll put it in the F tier. Okay, I'm back again. I keep having to take breaks to get some water, man. It's just a lot of talking, golly. This is why like live streams can be hard sometimes. You're just talking the whole time. Let's do another B tier, Black Neck Still. Gets you a lot of trumpets. And not bad stats. Can be a nice tempo early, so we'll put it in B tier. Chupacabra, C tier. It can give health, but it only does +1 health, and it only has a limited number of triggers. Still, it's got like 4 attacks. Usually gives it at least 1 knockout in the early game, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Can combo with the right team, so we'll put it in C tier. Let's do another S tier. And that is the Squirrel. Combos really well with food builds, with like things like the sauropod and the seal. I mean, you can like freeze a chocolate and next turn get it for free. Like that's just absolutely amazing. And look, it's holding an acorn. Easy S tier for me. Let's do another S tier, and that's going to be the Salmon of Wisdom. Now it does give XP to the enemies as well, but it can give so much XP and can turn your tier 1s into tier 3s for free, you know, or I guess not free, once that level 3, but that can be so strong, great for tempo. It can just really help you, like if you're in a versus game and you're losing, you can just buy a couple tier 1s that counter the opponent and they're now level 3. It's really great. I'm putting it in S tier. Let's talk about another lower tier pet, the Cricket. I don't know why this pet exists. It's not very great. I mean, it can be nice early. It can have decent attack early, but you can never scale its attack up because it always resets it. So C tier. Beetle B tier. I feel like it's a Cricket, but better because it can get a meat bone or a garlic at later levels, and that's pretty nice. So we'll put it in the B tier. And Frog F tier. The fact that it can screw up your stats positioning if you don't put it in like the front or the back. It's really annoying. And I think you could sell like a lower tier pet onto it, like stats to a higher tier pet, but I think tempo is just more worth it than investing into an early pet. So we'll put in F tier. Sheep S tier, amazing for summon teams, especially early. Plus you can get it to level 2, pill it, combine to get a level 3 ram and get an easy bison trigger as well. Easy S tier for me, great tempo, great pet, S tier. Let's talk about, what's a good pet to talk about next? Let's talk about the Cuddle Toad, another tier 1. It can summon a witch toy. So the whole gimmick with it is like, it does summon a toy at higher levels. Instead of summoning a higher level toy, it summons a toy that lasts, level 1 toy that lasts longer. So like, it can be still nice getting a random friend XP or a random enemy weakness, you know? So not bad, not great. 2-3 stat lines is pretty good, so we'll keep it in C tier. Baku B tier can be really great with wall chicken, every even turn, you can get like free health and attack because the wall's chicken. And it can combo it with other, what's it called? You can do stuff like pill, like Visitor and Phoenix and stuff as well, and it will remove that. So that's really nice. So yeah, we'll put it in the B tier. I feel like I have some more good B tiers I can throw in here. Let's talk about another S tier, Sneaky Egg. 4-2 stat line is crazy for tier 1. Plus, because it faints, it counters the axe handle hound because it literally can't get sniped by it. So that's really nice. Counters and really annoying a pet. Great stat line. We'll keep it as S tier. But yeah, back to the B tier. B tier, B tier. What's another good B tier pet? Here's another good A tier pet. Atlantic Puffin. You can do a lot of snipes early with just having a few strawberries on your team. It can target several different enemies. It's one of the only snipers in the star pack. Great tempo early. We'll put it in the A tier. I feel like I'm saying tempo more than anything else in this video, right? Tempo's the name of the game, in case you don't know. Let's do another B tier, Boitada. Boitada, it can make enemies crisp. That can combo really nicely with other ailment builds. It's got enough HP usually to live long enough to trigger the crisp as well. So that's really cool. You can usually have a couple hits. You can invest into it, carry you in the late game. Decent pet. We'll put it in the B tier. C tier, we're going to put the Crocodile. Start a battle, it deals to the last enemy. Like, it is nice damage, but you can play around that. You can put weaker pets in the back. It's in versus, you can like just throw mushrooms on things. Like, it's not as good as it sounds, but I mean, 8 damage is 8 damage. We'll put it in the C tier. What's another good pet? Let's talk about the Swordfish. Oh my gosh, the Swordfish. It can do so much damage. Look at this. You can like one-shot a behemoth, and yeah, it will kill yourself. But if you have a pepper, it'll live on 1 HP, and it can kill like two pets with the price of 1. Just have to stat it up a little, and it can go crazy. We're putting that into the S tier for sure. What's another good pet? What about the... No, I was about to say Cyclops. I think I already did Cyclops, right? Yeah, Cyclops C tier. Already talked about that. What's another good pet to talk about? I don't know. I feel like I'm running out of good pets here. Pillow, no. Jellyfish, no. This is the part of the video where you realize that I've been recording for over an hour and my brain is just completely fogged up. My sparkling water is still good though. I got a cherry bubbly here. I'm just vibing. Kind of feels like I'm doing a live stream, but like to nobody, because I never record. I usually don't record voice live. I usually do it in post edit, right? So this is like a very different experience than I usually do. Oh, here's another good pet. How could I forget about the armadillo? Amazing for hurt teams. So good for if you want to run like things like camel and blowfish. I think armadillo is the way to go. Definitely more than the what's it called? More than the elephant. It gives you so much HP. Yeah, it gives to the enemy, but your pets benefit from the HP more than theirs. So, really nice pet. Put it in the A tier. Is there anyone else I want to talk about? Oh no, let me look through. Who will I talk about next? Oh yeah, I should say I'm not doing token pets besides obviously the sloth, but like no one really cares about what you think about for the like the smaller slug. Like no one's gonna be running a smaller slug, right? Unless they're going for the achievement. Not really worth it to talk about it. Ah, here's one I forgot. The sea turtle. That HP is so deceptive. It can be really good because a lot of summons have higher attack than health, and 3 health is a lot early game. Like this thing can be so strong for summon teams early. I think that's an easy S tier for me. You know what? I think that's good. I think it's a pretty good tier list. If I didn't rank a pet, that's because it's just not worth it to run. I think everything here just outclasses everything else in the game. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please hope you enjoyed this tier list. You know, my very first superautopets tier list. I hope you liked it. But thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that generic stuff. I'll catch you all next time. And as always, stay true.